Hi everyone. I've had some questions put to me about the deeper meaning of the Enchanted Lands series of retreats. The deeper meaning and actions, and if they're globally impactful, many questions. So I'm going to read the questions out and then I will do my very best to answer them. So one of the questions is why has Metatron come back so strongly in the picture? Well, my belief is that Metatron's never really been away. It's just that the last few years we haven't really been able to put these together, and so I haven't personally spoken of him as much. But I'd like to just mention that I do have a previous video which is my relationship with Archangel Metatron, and I do suggest that you go and watch that, really. And that tells you a bit about the story of how all of this evolved, really, where it began from. And I really want to use this time to address the questions in particular and answer those. But that gives you like the history of how they were birthed, really, the trust it took to build that relationship and everything that's been born of it. So why is Metatron? So to me, Metatron is the Prince of Presence. So he's known, he really comes from the Kabbalah and the belief structure that's around that rather than the Hebrew Bible. He's in the Talmud a few times, and it's about a human called Enoch who arose to the heavens and became an angel, one of two. Sandalphon was the other one, from Elijah. And basically, depending on which legends and myths that you follow and which practices that you read and scriptures that you read, Metatron's always the bringer of light. And he's here to bridge heaven and earth. So some say he's the intermediary of God and man. You know, some of these scriptures have been around for a long time, so the descriptions are of those times. But to me, it's a very powerful presence that's here to help, that's here to assist us in developing to the highest that we can be. And in order to do that, one of the things that Metatron does is helps us to remember. It helps us to remind us that we are a member of a human race of beings who are spirit first. And we have the honor and the awe of many of the angels to be here in this life at this time to witness this great epoch change. So often in New Age spirituality, Metatron's known as the Angel of Ascension. He's also known as the Angel of Sacred Geometry. Now, all life comes from sacred geometry. It can be described in different ways, and our soul sort of temple, our soul vehicle is often described as the Merkaba, and the Merkaba holds many shapes. And Metatron is known for his shape, so the energy within Metatron is the Metatrons Cube. Do look that up on Google if you want to have a look at that. And so it's all about ascension vehicles. It's about self-mastery, really, and it's about evolving into the best version of ourselves that we can. So I know where this questions come from, and basically if you look at the other video that I did on my relationship with Metatron, it goes over how he came into my life again since I was little, and how he advised and led and offered us the opportunity of coming together in many places in the UK for a series over 3 years called Cosmic Awakenings, and the name was given by him, and I kept that because I know names, numbers, everything has a specific energy. At that point, it was sort of like an infinity wheel. He handed over to Seraphina, which is another angelic being, which was very feminine, very fluid, and we also moved into the Enchanted Lands at that pivotal point of joining, of unity. So we get the opportunity now of relaunching the Enchanted Lands and been asked to keep that name. And the Enchanted Lands now, the difference really, one of the next questions is, what is the difference between this one and previous ones, particularly after this last few years? It's deeper, more engaging, and asking us to step into our courageous hearts. So this first trip is to the Azores. We leave on the 14th of May. And the differences have yet to be actually found and seen, because they tend to sort of birth themselves whilst we're in and of the event and the trip itself. But my sense of it is that it's very much multi-layered, very, very multi-layered. So I feel as though everybody will get something from it, whether it's people just coming on holiday and they want to sort of, you can go on holidays anywhere pretty much nowadays. It's starting to open up. I know people are sort of a bit cautious about travelling this year, but for those that are ready. And so you've got lots of options for holidays per se, but some people like coming away with a like-minded group of people. But to me, it's much more than that. It's a soul call. This is very much, the difference in this one feels more urgent, to be honest. It feels more like urgent, a bit more sort of freer. Although there's urgency there, there's also much more freedom in it. It's almost like we've done all of the work that we need to do. We've done all the preparation work. We've gathered enough within ourselves, we've evolved enough within ourselves to be able to take with us on this trip a very different Carol, a very different you, because we've changed, have we not? And so it's taking that version of ourselves together to explore this united front and this unity consciousness, and exploring the higher version of ourselves. That's going to be deepening as we move through these Enchanted Lands adventures. And what's beautiful about it, I feel, is because it's multi-layered, it's almost as if people can just go out and have some rest, reflection time, and happy holiday. If that's going to help them be the best version of themselves, if that's going to help them bring more life of joy and heaven on earth, that bridge that Metatron will provide for everybody. And then again, if somebody really wants to understand more about the raw powers of the elements and the elementals, there's elements that are attached to every shape in the universe that makes the universe the universe. And so to really deepen that meaning with the elements, and I am feeling, not being yet, but I'm feeling that the Azores has that in abundance, then, that's a great way of meeting yourself. Dragon lines, this is another very different approach. We've worked with ley lines before, but this is to do with facing the dragon within you. The dragon mythology I find quite interesting, because a lot of the pictures since medieval times in the West is of knights in armor slaying dragons. And if you really look at Draco and the origins of the Greek word, it means to see, to be seen, to see within. And from the east, dragons came from the east as a mythology, as a picture to represent the power that you are, a representation of the power that you are. And if you were to have the courage of the heart to really look in to all that you are, to actually see your magnificence in many ways, to see your full potential. And so the instinct there is fear, to run away. God, I don't want to look at myself, thank you. Or to attack and kill, if you like. And the evolution process with this dragon line energy is to be at one with oneself. So you're enabled to really look at the magnificence and the light that you carry within, and to remember that you are born of that, and the remembering, the being a member of recalling all of this is what this Enchanted Lands and all of them do. They enable you to go to a place where you can drop all of the usual blah blah, and you can enter a place of sanctity and sanctuary within your own heart. You can be fed by the waters of life, the energy of Mother Earth. Different landscapes externally always stimulate those within. So when we're going to new lands, a kind of new version of you goes to that new land, and you certainly come back changed. So that's the differences there. It's the depth and the different ways of being. And also there's a lot of information like the dragon information that I've just shared with you then I haven't shared before. I'm getting downloads after downloads, lots of cosmic information coming through that obviously during those times I can share easier. So is there any collective planetary use to it? Right, okay, so ever since I was a little girl, I've sort of had a position where I've floated off into space and I've looked down on our amazing planet. You know, all those fantastic photographs that you get from the astronauts out there. And I've always seen a web of golden light around it with interconnecting nodes that are within there. And we had some information many years ago about some of us being way seers, some of us being way anchors, you know, to anchor the way in life, to pick up the threads and weaves of information and codes of light in the universe, and to provide that for others to anchor it into the earth and hold it steady. So I've seen this forever, and that intrigues me. And I think that's, to me, why I do this work, because having been told I was a way seer a long time ago, a seer of the way, we've all got that. We were all anchoring the energy in as well, and many other different roles that we all take, many other different roles. But the planetary use of it, so the idea behind this web of light, of these different frequencies that are supplied from the universal energies and from human beings. We are the children of Mother Earth, so we're here to evolve with her. She's decided as a planet that we are going with her, and we're evolving in a messy way, in a chaotic way, and also in a supremely majestic, fantastic way. And the way is clear, and the way is of the light. So this collective planetary use for these events is basically, I feel as if the cosmic beings I talk to, Archangel Metatron, have a much bigger view than I do of what's actually going on. And we are one piece of a jigsaw. One piece of a jigsaw. And we are asked to trust and to go and follow our gut feeling in our hearts and be placed in a certain place. I know for sure it's not just about us and what we're doing, but we are equally important in that role. So we show up and do the thing that our hearts tell us we need to do. And the mind gets out the way, and we just follow the heart language and the light language, and we get there. And I know at the same time there are other people, other humans in our collective family who are also answering this call. They're going to different parts. They are going to their nodes. So during the Enchanted Lands, we're going to be asked to go to different places around this globe, which are all what I call power points. They're all places where the lines of this intelligent cosmic force cross over. So they produce portals. They produce a pause in time and space. So we can access previous enchanted civilizations that we will have lived in, and maybe other planetary civilizations and cosmic galaxies. And we can pick this information up because our soul is ancient and we already know it. So it's just another remembering. But sometimes the confluence, the convergence only happens when a particular group of different frequencies come together to produce a certain harmonic. So it's all about the sound of your soul, and mine has one sound, yours has another, and another and another, and we're all unique. So we bring that together in one great big orchestra of life. And when that resonates at a certain place, at a certain time, it puts out a signal to the cosmos to say, we're here, we've woken up, we've remembered some of it, we're willing to remember more about what our soul is here and agreed to do, to have some fun along the way, but to have that bigger purpose, to have that sort of purpose of assisting in this global plan of higher dimensional energy. So it's unity, it's about peace on earth. Now, if you look at any writings of the ancient ones, of different tribes in the world, of different scriptures, they've all got prophecies of this time being the time of the Great Confluence. Now people have different names for it. And a time of stepping up into our own power, becoming our higher natures, turning this whole thing round with the help of all the beings that are around us too, and Mother Earth, of course, and moving into a place of peace. So to me, that's why I show up and do what I do. So going to last but not least question, what is the deeper meaning or the use or reason or purpose? I feel like we've pretty much covered those. The deeper meaning to me is showing up for your own soul so that you can quieten the chatter of the day-to-day. And we invite you on all of these. We're going to be having a Zoom meeting before we go. We're going to have a couple of those before we go to start setting up the guided meditations, the energy. We do have ceremony. We do have rituals when we go away. And the meaning to me of that is a great big thank you, a one of gathering together to say to ourselves, to recognize to the earth, to recognize to all the beings that are helping us, I am grateful to have this breath in this place, to be part of the bigger picture, to understand I don't need to know it all, but that I'll be given, and I trust what I will be given, and I will follow that if my heart sings in tune with that. And I know somewhere in my soul and my heart and my gut that I am doing something that will benefit more than I. And I truly step into my present moment and my true I am presence when I do that. So that's the deeper meaning. So, if you've got any more questions about going to the Azores with me for Into the Blue. Into the Blue, by the way, the name Into the Blue, it's not just about the blue whales that we may be in the presence of. We will be in the presence of. Whether or not we see them is up to divine energy. We will see some whales, but it's the blue. It's the whole ray and spectrum of the frequencies of the blue. And actually, in some early writings of the Kabbalah, Metatrons often coexists as if they're one with Michael, Archangel Michael. I find that quite interesting. The colours of Metatron are pink and green. We happen to be going to the Green Island. San Miguel is known as the Green Island, so very much the colour of the 3D heart. And for those that are travelling for the full retreat, and it's great if you could do week 1 with me, but for those that are coming on, we will stand for everybody, because we go to Flores, which is the flower island, also known as the pink island. And it just so happens that Metatron's colours are pink and green. So they're the higher dimensional, so the pink heart is known as it's all to do with Magdalene and various other feminine energies. So you've got the male and you've got the female energy of the heart. But it's also to do with 4th and 5th dimensional colours of the heart, and higher, actually. So it's quite interesting when these things come to mind now in my research. I obviously didn't know that at the time, but these things always come as proof for us. Once we've trusted, the proof and the reasoning individually for you will be clear. So you just have to ask for it. You know, once you've actually said, yeah, I'm registering with you, Carol, fill in our little form. No money's needed at the moment, just need the form. And it's like, okay, so I've registered, I'm going. And then actually a lot of synchronicities will then arrive in your life, and you'll get to know more about why you're going and what the attraction is for you, and what you feel is going to expand. We'll start the expansion as soon as you say yes to your universe, whatever options there are and whatever choices you make. Okay, my loves, hope that helps. Let me know if there's any more questions. Delighted to assist. Mwah. Bye for now.